Hey everybody. Today's video is a little bit on the tough side for me to make because it makes me think about some, deeper things that you don't typically think about or try to think about on a daily basis. But, let's just dive right into it. I think by now everybody has seen that the Amazon is on fire, and so of course everybody's saying what a tragedy this is, and of course that's true. Of course it is. Nobody wants to see the Amazon rainforest on fire. It provides 20% of the Earth's oxygen. So yeah, it is a tragedy. The most difficult thing for me, obviously, other than the fact that the Earth's lungs are burning, the most difficult thing for me, of course, is to see that so many of my friends and family who still choose to eat meat and participate in animal agriculture on some level, at least by demanding the supply, they're posting about how much of a tragedy this is. And why doesn't somebody do something about this? Why don't we put out these fires? It's pretty much common knowledge at this point, and you're on the internet watching this, so go ahead and Google it. It's pretty much common knowledge at this point that, these fires, or at least most of these fires, were set intentionally. Brazil's new president has made it very clear that farming and profits take precedent over preservation or anything natural. And it's interesting that just a very short period of time after an Aboriginal group won a lawsuit to protect their area, you see all these fires, which has now decimated an incredibly large area of the Amazon. So what does this have to do with meat eaters? Well, I guess what most people don't realize is that the Amazon is destroyed every single day to make room, make land for cattle grazing, make land for crops to grow. And so, since most of this current event is to make more land because they've been given the go-ahead, even if it is unofficially, it's a good time for a reminder that when you choose to participate in the supply and demand game, if you will, of animal agriculture, and you choose to consume animal products, not even animal products, these are animals, these are live sentient beings, and when you choose to participate in this, you are directly responsible. Even if you're not the one doing it, you are directly responsible for the devastation of the rainforest. Every single second, it's estimated that almost an acre of the Amazon is cleared for animal agriculture. That is pretty much a football field every single second. Since this video started, 200 acres of Amazon was cleared on an average day to make room for cows or crops to feed the cows. That's a problem. People like to talk about soy, but the reality is that 97 or so % of all soy grown in the world goes to feed livestock, not humans. So soy's not the problem, at least not in the way that meat eaters like to say that it is. Another thing that's really devastating about that clearing of the Amazon rainforest is we know it's one of the most biodiverse areas in the world, obviously. So what do you think happens when you clear an acre per second? Well, just about every single day, it's estimated that about 100 species of plant and animals go extinct. So even if that number, of course, we don't know what the actual numbers are, because many species are probably have never been seen or discovered or cataloged. But what do you think happens? 100 species of plant and animal will never exist again because of that acre per second clearing. Now, what do you think's happening during these fires? I bet those numbers are up. But you know what? Even if those numbers are only like 50 species a day, that's still 50 unique life forms that will no longer exist on this earth every single day. And this is all because of, or at least about 80 to 90% of all clearing of the Amazon that's been done so far has been for animal agriculture. So this is all so that we can eat beef. So we can eat burgers and steaks. And there are some other animals as well that are farmed there, but it's mostly cattle. That's the biggest thing. It's mostly cows. So I say this is a tough day for me. You know, these are just numbers. These are just statistics. What does that really mean? What can one person actually do to change any of that? How can you put out the fire in the Amazon? Of course you can't. Well, no. But you know, the numbers are pretty staggering when you look at the effects you can make, the changes you can make by switching to a plant-based diet. I'm going to put some numbers up on the screen, and these are coming from vegancalculator.net or something like that. I'll link it. That show an estimate based upon, you know, an average omnivorous lifestyle to a vegan lifestyle or plant-based diet lifestyle. And it will show typically what you've saved in water, land space, CO2 emissions, all kinds of things. And then, of course, animal lives as well. So this is just for me in about 5 years. So, you know, it's interesting when people say, oh, well, what difference can you make? One person can't make a difference. Well, you know what? One person can make a pretty big difference. And then if one person inspires one other person to make that same difference, you can see how very quickly this can ripple into a pretty good domino effect. So I think the thing that bothers me the most, other than the fact that the lungs of the earth are burning right now and nobody seems to be giving a shit about it or wanting to do anything about it, is the fact that I see so many of my omnivorous meat-eating friends and family, like I say, saying, what a tragedy. Yeah, it is. It is a tragedy. That's for sure. Got a mosquito trying to disrupt me here. It is a tragedy, but it's also extremely, extremely difficult for me to understand the extreme disconnect. It's like people, even when they're presented with the information, even when I give the facts and the statements, people just call me a preachy vegan. They'll say, oh, you're just a preachy vegan. Come on, I like to eat my steaks. I like to eat my burgers. You know, whatever, dude. Calm down, chill. Stop being a preachy vegan. This is way more than just the animals. This is about way more than just the fact that I believe all animals deserve the right to live. You know, this is more than just about veganism. This is about all life on Earth. This is about the fact that we are destroying the planet for a taste bud pleasure. Something that's completely unnecessary. Now, of course, hey, in previous days, sure, food security. I get it. I understand why animals were commodified. I do. I understand why that happened and how it was important to our survival in the past. But that is the past. When ecological collapse happens, when we've destroyed the planet so much so that the climate starts to shift, resources start getting scarce, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be surely economic collapse as well, but there's going to be wars over resources. We already see that happening all the time with the U.S. basically invading anywhere they want for the oil. There's going to be wars for water, for land, for all kinds of things. Millions and millions of people around the world will be displaced due to rising oceans. All kinds of things are going to happen. When the oceans die, predictably by about 2048, our atmosphere dies shortly after that. I mean, we're probably done by the year 2100 anyway if we don't turn this shit around. But, you know, so what can we do? Don't want to go all doomsday on people, but it's more than just about liking animals. It's more than just about a diet for me. It's about all life on Earth and our future here. And even though I don't have kids, I still respect the fact that there are younger generations. There are kids in the world, my niece and nephews, my friends' children, the children around the world that I don't know. The billions of people who may not be able to live out their natural lifespan because of the choices we've made since, we started industrializing the planet, and the action we take or don't take now, today. Today is when we need to shift towards a plant-based diet. we need to stop doing the things that create the demand for the devastation of our natural place that we live and we share with all life on this planet. We can't destroy the earth for food. That's not how it's supposed to work. And the great thing is, even though there are too many humans, we have enough land to feed us all. We can actually, there's a mosquito on my phone. Hey. We can actually sustain life here, folks. We not only have the resources, we have the technology to do it. And in this day and age, we have the ability to transport and stuff. And I know people will talk about fossil fuels. Obviously, that is an issue. But animal agriculture emits more CO2 emissions and methane, which is way worse than CO2, than all other forms of transportation combined, or all transportation combined, rather. So every plane, every boat, every car, everything that exists today and all the emissions that they make, animal agriculture is more than those combined on the detrimental effect it has on our planet. So yeah, buying a hybrid car is probably a good idea. Using mass transportation is probably a good idea. Thinking about the ways you can reduce or eliminate carbon footprint is a great idea. But you can make a significant difference today by switching what's on your plate. So it's difficult when I see people that I know are good-hearted people pass this off as if it's nothing. What is this? This is nothing. This is just John being the weird vegan, right? This is just John talking about eating tofu. No, that's not what it is. This is about me recognizing 5 years ago that I needed to align my actions with my morals. And in doing so, I could also have a hugely positive impact on the planet. And I'm hoping that anybody who's watching this at least gets a little bit of that feeling today. Because we don't have a lot of time to turn this around if we have enough at all. We can ban plastic straws. Good idea. But 46% of the garbage that's in the ocean is discarded fishing supplies, nets, equipment, things like that. So yeah, ban straws, boycott straws, cool. That's like 0.03% of what's in the ocean. But if you want to save the oceans, which ultimately saves all life on Earth, because the ocean is very important to our survival, ban fishing, boycott fishing. Isn't that extreme? What would these people do for work? I don't care, because human feelings and comfort is way less important than the future of the planet and all life on it. Figure it out. People don't take it seriously, and I think that's the worst thing for me. People laugh it off, they make jokes. I don't care. I get told to go kill myself. I get called all kinds of names on a pretty much daily basis. I really don't give a shit. My feelings, you can't hurt my feelings any more than you are already messing up the planet with your decisions. And maybe that's harsh, right? Like, I'm not trying to call people out and call you bad people, because I know you're not. But the actions do not reflect your morals. Your actions are not reflecting what I know you're hoping for this planet long after you're gone. I doubt there's anybody out there who thinks that they're okay if their child or grandchild doesn't get to live out their natural lifespan. Like, if you have a kid, are you really cool with thinking, hey, my kid might die by like 50 because the earth is just so messed up? I doubt you're okay with that. And if you are, you're sick. But the good news is you have the ability to help, and you can learn about this. Don't just take my word from it. The internet's a wonderful thing. We're in the age of instant information, yet we're drowning in ignorance. What do you do? Look this stuff up, guys. Just Google how to go vegan, or how does veganism help the environment or help the planet? Things like that. All of the information you need is right there. You're already on the internet watching this video. So when you click away from this video, which is about 15 minutes long now, that's What's that? That's like 900 seconds. That's 900 football fields, 900 acres of land that's been cleared on a typical day. You can start learning how to make some better choices. If you have any questions on what to actually eat, how to make a transition, how to plan your food, because I know it's a lot to think about. Well, what do you eat? Reach out to me. Check YouTube, check the internet, of course. It's easy. Guys, I've been vegan for 5 years. It is easy. Anybody who says it isn't is lying. It is easy to live your life perfectly happy, perfectly healthy, and not harm animals intentionally. And in doing so, ensuring that your carbon footprint is way less than if you're supporting animal agriculture. So if you don't want the Amazon to burn, stop eating meat. If you don't want the oceans to die and our atmosphere to fail, stop eating fish. Simple.